Hello, I'm John Schwander, also known as the All Green Gamer, and I'm here with,
D Will.
And Phil.
and we're picking up on our game project. Now, Dexter just wrote the story for us, or a breakdown, and I gotta say, I like it. Even though there's 3 parts, I really see a lot of things that can be used. My one concern is
This is 3 different parts. I mean, 3 different stories
Yeah.
that could be taken from and then make a real story for.
yeah, mentally I'm doing a lot of mixing and matching,
Yeah.
but
Good.
like some of the things like Zilo's pupils changing, or those might be too hard to do with pixel art.
Yeah,
But
that's
like
true.
changing color, that'd be easy.
Yeah. That's fine. Tell me what you guys like from each story. Like, do you like there being one person that's like really in charge? There's like 3 different organizations, or
Well, for the MC, I'm 50-50 on that, whether someone else will actually be in lead of the resistance and Kevin and Silo work for them, or if Kevin and Silo just build up the resistance.
himself.
That I'm 50-50 on. The one guy, one person being the big bad, I'm fine with that. I
Yeah.
prefer that.
More traditional route.
So I don't mind the 3 organizations. Like different organizations are fighting
I think we might
over
have.
the resources.
We might not have a long enough story to do 3. We might be able to get 2, but
Well, one would be the player building the resistance. One would be like a minor evil that just gets absorbed by the big evil. But that depends.
okay. So it's,
I'm thinking like 5 stages.
right.
Is that what we'll be able to pull off?
Mm-hmm. Also, like Organization 2 could just doesn't actually have to be an organization. They could just be there.
Right.
It is a
like,
type of crap. Didn't want to do that.
like the normal people.
Yeah.
I do like the enemies and the boss you made up.
For the first one,
Yeah,
Dragonfly.
dragonflies and scorpions with the bullfrog,
Yep.
mechanical bullfrog. Yeah.
That definitely works.
And we definitely want at least one type of flying enemy for each level if it's going to be a platformer.
I thought so. There'd probably be more enemies, but it's up to you all. Can you do dragonflies and scorpions?
Yeah. They might be like pitfall resolution dragonflies and scorpions, but
It's possible.
That is.
they'll just have to use their imagination to see the scorpions. In the giant black blocks with the tail that comes at them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Well, I did like, what was it? The mood thing you had.
Where was that?
Mm-hmm.
It was in the first one.
Oh yeah, his power. What did I write for that?
Because they did something like that in Dead Space, where they had the health
Yeah.
in the guy. That's a really good idea, an easy way to show stats without it being like a HUD.
Oh yeah, I
So
said
do you
his
think-
veins glowed based on his mood.
Yeah.
Because we could do health that way.
Well, when you think of Dead Space, I mean, you gotta realize it's better resolution than we'll be in, and it's a lot clearer than pixel art, so that's gonna be a problem.
Well, we could have it be like really kind of glowing, so the area around him gets tinted a little bit from it.
Yeah, that'd be.
So we can make
We
it.
could have,
We can make it really visible.
yeah, we could have it like a
An aura.
Like temples are dark, and he's a light source, and as he takes damage, his light source goes down.
That'd be kind of cool.
Something like that. Yeah.
Because
I could completely change it to a horror game that way.
Yeah, that's what I say. That makes it super difficult.
Yeah, we'll have to. That can't be for a platform, but yeah, we could have something like that where he just glows a little and maybe it shrinks and then turns red when he's close to dying.
So we could probably get away from a heads-up display then.
Yeah, even if we do a heads up, it's going to be very minimalist.
Right.
It's going to be basically score, time, and health.
Exactly.
Maybe current character.
How do you like flag it so it's like this was a good idea?
You could highlight it.
Highlight it.
Where's the highlighter?
Where bold is.
Right next
It's
to bold.
next to the one with the A underlined.
Alright.
Yep, you got to change the color. You're going to highlight in black.
There you go.
Did already.
Because we could have a day-night cycle if we did that glowing. That could be the way to get it used.
You could, though. They're going to be inside the temple most of the point, so that's going to be more indoors.
Right, but outside you could. Just to use it.
Yeah, but like outside, I'm still picturing overworld with just walking place to place, maybe random encounters. So I don't know how that's going to pull off the platform.
Because Zelda did that. Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
They had a really quick day-night cycle, and that's when enemies would spawn. Or at least a lot more enemies would. It's an idea.
Yeah, we could actually do something like instead of day-night, it goes from like day to like ominous red glow, and that's like the bad guys bringing in more, using their power to summon more monsters, something like that.
Or like overclass clouds kind of thing.
Yeah. That's something we could play with.
The first game with different types of weather since like Pokemon.
Yeah, it could be weather too. That would be easy. So it doesn't actually get dark. Completely dark, at least, but
Yeah.
dim.
And it's more than just a day-night cycle that separates the game a little. It's like it's the same basis, but just that little extra story flavor. Alright, the antagonist being Kevin's mother. Kind of on the no on that.
I mean,
That's just my feeling.
I kind of like the irony, humor involved. I think if we go for that kind of dynamic between Kevin and Silo, we should have something like that in the end. When you figure out the bad guy.
Well, is Xylo gonna be able to talk?
Right, that's...
He can.
He can,
totally
but we have to
possible.
remember
He's a magical eyeball. Of course he can talk.
how we deal with the transformations. Will Xylo just always be present?
Telepathic?
I mean, I kind of like him... Like, having both of them just be the same person, but take a different physical form, so... They could still talk. I don't know. I think it'd be a really easy way to add conversation or spew information out.
So you're saying Xylo is a floating eyeball that follows Kevin?
No. I thought he's still a snake.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
Alright, I want to make sure we're on the same page.
Just one of his eyes happens to be magical.
And that's what lets him talk and take different forms.
Yes.
depending on the resolution, we could make the eye a visible, like regular black pixel, and then a light blue for like when he's using magic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're gonna have a lot of pixels to work with, so if we can get detailed.
I still don't know how
Need-
resolution's going to play out. I haven't researched that much.
I was about to say.
I have a book coming for pixel art though. Should be here in a week.
Oh, sweet.
Because we are targeting 720p.
All right.
we are.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be that much.
I mean that's kind of minimum. Your computer does way more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Just the TV stuff.
But though we'll benchmark around 720, we definitely need a way to like do a low scale graphics version. Shouldn't be too hard.
Well, I think that would be cool with pixel art because it would scale nicely.
Yeah. The computers can handle that easily, but it's people's monitors.
Yes.
Some people still have the old CRTs. And I've seen them. It amazes me every time.
Yeah. Not many.
No. Now, for these new recruits, are they just NPCs that like the player can interact with, or are they transformations? What are they?
I thought they were actual like playable characters,
Playable characters. All right.
but they could. Again, that was a completely different storyline. I thought it could be totally changed, but it could be just a bunch of people coming from different regions, or just focused around those three, and those three can turn into different stuff. Or it could just be Kevin's Island, they can turn into different people. That's just a different storyline.
Hmm. Well, how you say Lexi is good at defending? Maybe maybe have him like captain like guard or commanders that you can place in with your militia, and then if you get attacked, you switch over to that character rather than having to run back with Kevin and Silo.
That's true. You could do that.
Mm-hmm.
We can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
The thing is, what do you guys think?
What works best for like coding?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's so hard to pick then.
I guess it
all right.
just
Well, I'm gonna. All right, go on, Phil.
depends how involved we want to get with the militia.
Hmm. I really like the militia. I really want to.
Because switching characters, you become really involved. That's like a whole separate game
Yeah.
where you're going back and forth a real lot. Whereas if you just have it being optional, where it can really just take care of itself without the player's interaction, but they can. Would be more the running back.
One of those people could be like in charge of the militia. And so you can like assign him to either do it for you, or you can do it yourself. And you can use that person to defend. And maybe that person could be an unlockable character near the end of the game, I guess. For doing levels.
Yeah, like a new game plus, you can play as that character instead.
Yeah.
Just writing this down, so I'm gonna be a bit quiet for a second.
Alright. I wish I could type that fast.
No, I heard you pounding that keyboard. You got some speed.
I wanted to be faster.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You might be a bit young for all those old typing games we had to grow up with.
No, I didn't have any typing games. Unfortunately.
They're fun.
I found one on, what's it called? Stumble Upon it. That's it.
There's a Typing of the Dead I would recommend. It's funny. It might be Typing of the Dead. House of the Dead, Typing of the Dead 2. That's some funny lines. Something like that. I like the bullet point in Xylo as a snake. It's good to keep that in mind.
Just making sure. Philo will always be a snake.
Not a floating eyeball.
Not a floating eyeball. That's a little weird. That's
It is a little
scare
weird.
people.
Though it would work with the changing pupils. It would explain.
That would work, but that would also scare the crap out of me if I saw that.
Yeah.
What is this like flag next to the last part in
Yeah, I
their
noticed that.
story?
I don't know. I don't think anyone.
It's
Bookmark.
bookmarked.
Why is this bookmark?
Don't know. But while we're on that part, what were you going with that?
Just like each region picks a person to represent them and try to get the tomes or whatever you want to call it from each of the temples. And for that one, there's 2 temples for each region. One's a good temple, one's bad temple. I just call them Jinx and Epic.
So you're thinking Kevin and Xylo
Or one of the
were
competitors.
selected for you. Okay.
And then stuff goes crazy, or should I say stuff goes wrong. People start working for them and or have side effects from the tomes, and the spirits don't like it because they're being used too much. Everything starts going haywire, and then they go after the people that endorse the tournament. Attorney.
Well, the 3 stories, I'm going to say 3 I like probably the least. I like part 2, but I like 1 most.
One's the easiest.
What's your opinion, Phil?
Probably similar, but I like to see more how. Because I think we need to have a pretty simple character base, because we're not making a very long game. So
Simple character base? What do you mean?
just not very many people you have to introduce.
Alright.
So it's really easy to know who's who right off the start. So it's not like every temple you're being introduced to new people.
Could be, well, not exactly new people. Could just be like the spirit that you just.
Well, yeah, that's fine. But when you're trying to develop characters, you need a long time to do that.
Alright. So just.
Which is what I
Well,
mean.
you don't have to develop each character, for example.
No, that right. But for like the bad guys, if you have 3 different groups of bad guys, you have to develop all of them, which would be difficult. But if we can have them be similar and draw connections between them, then we could have more.
You could go with like. You can have like the plot for the first story. I don't know. This is just me. I like the heme disease people.
You like the, okay.
Like, you could just have them in the game, but they don't have to be like a major role.
But what are they trying to do?
They're just trying to find a cure. Like, go back to being normal people other than previously.
And what location do they originate from? What region are they in?
They're just from a bunch of different regions, but they got exiled.
Mm.
We kind of make that a in-game mystery. That's not really a part of the game, but just a sort of separate storyline that you end up figuring out at the end.
Yeah.
Or you can choose to go cure them.
Or choose to destroy them. No. So are we just keeping it so Kevin and Zyla are like the main people?
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Yeah, and for the Heme, they could be maybe rather than a whole organization, they can just be another enemy type that gets a bit more explained than any of the others.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll be the tanky ones that take a lot of hits.
Yeah.
And we could put them on really small platforms
So,
that you have to jump onto.
yeah.
Or they could always be like the mini bosses in the temple. Different versions of them.
Yeah. Or we
But
could
it-
have like a codex thing. Like every once in a while you'll find like an old journal and it'll say like the Heme had this affliction.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool.
Could have like,
Just
Would
like
they
a
be like some-
sub-story.
yeah. Could it be like a disease inflicted upon people that try to get through the temple but didn't make it? Or like a curse?
It can be. Did you have anything in mind for how the disease is transmitted?
I mean, I kind of like the random affected. Or at least you don't really find out about it till the end.
Yeah.
Because we could have one, like the mini bosses, be one of the enemies from that region being infected, and then they get some kind of weird power up or transformation because of it.
I like it.
Yeah, like for the first mini boss, it just introduces them, and then throughout the stages you see them more. And at like the last mini boss, you learn that the oxygen does it. So like the big bad injects the room full of oxygen, and it's really big.
Yeah.
I like it. Pure
I
oxygen.
like that as an enemy idea. Now, I was 50-50 on the Xylo and Kevin working separately or with the Resistance. What do you two think? Need a
Separately?
vote here.
I think they should be. They should start it, but not
they should
really
start
be
it?
integral part of it. So they're the reason that begins and people start collecting for a cause, but they're not really the leaders of it.
All right.
Kind of like
What do
the
you
Master
think?
Chief in Halo.
Yeah.
So he's really involved with it, but not an important person, kind of. Not a
Yeah,
leader.
he like starts it, but he doesn't lead it.
Right.
He's like the symbol, the figurehead.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevin and Zyla are the figurehead of...
Well, what do
The
you think, Dexter?
Resistance.
Do you think?
I like it. I just want immediate name for the Resistance. Not MC.
Well, we don't have to worry about that right now, but
If they're starting it, we don't need to have a name until halfway through the game.
That's true.
yeah.
That's very true.
So we
Yes.
could always just leave it as the Resistance.
Alright. So...
Maybe even all the way through. So, Kevin and Xylo, do they actively make it, or do they just passively make it? Like people just start gathering to Kevin and Xylo.
I think passively would be better.
Yeah, I like the passively. So like after the first temple,
I do
you
too.
kind of have a group of people that come up and be like, "Hey, I wanna defend the
Mhm.
temple."
Like Lexi and Rose.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I did not hear the word.
Just saying that we'll go with passive, and like people will just come up to them like Lexi and Rose when they clear a temple.
But then still have the ability to recruit as a side quest.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
we'll
not
leave
so
the
much
recruiting to Xylo and Kevin. Kevin and Xylo. And then they just go to like Lexi and she trains them up or organizes them in battle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a big thing we'll have to get a design on for that RTS, TBS, whatever strategy.
Yeah.
I should have something in the next 2 weeks. I've been getting all my schoolwork out of the way, so I'd have a lot to think this stuff over. So I should definitely have design document of the platforming, and I'll try to work on the strategy as well. And if anyone's going to meet Kevin and Xylo first, I think it should be Detective Rose. Like she was sent to investigate, and then
Oh yeah, figure out
Xylo and Kevin,
what's going
and
on.
then Lexi can be the next one. Yeah.
Could work.
And that's it for this episode. Thank you for joining us, and this is John Schwander saying bye.
This is D. Will. See you later.
See you later.